give him a few minutes to just introduce himself and tell you a little bit about himself, and then the floor will be open for questions. Again, let me thank you for your attendance, and we're ready.
Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate you giving your time today to hear a little bit about me, and I look forward to the questions that you have for me today as well. Before I get started, I would like to introduce to you my wife, Olivia, who is my biggest fan and my biggest supporter, and that I'm very happy to have by my side today. I couldn't do very much at all without her, and so thank you for being here, and I love you. So a little bit about myself. I have been in education for 18 years. I started off as a third grade teacher, and I taught third grade for 5 years. Absolutely loved it. Loved teaching, period. But I wanted an opportunity to make an impact at the college level. And so I had an opportunity to come work at a community college, which was the best thing that could have happened to me. And so just to back up just a little bit, I'm getting ahead of myself already. So in addition to my wife, I have two beautiful boys, handsome boys, Ethan and Evan, who are 12 and 10. They're in 7th grade and 4th grade. And although I was not initially a product of the community college system, I have definitely been a byproduct of it. And so I went to ECU on a scholarship to major in elementary education. And I'm a first-generation college graduate. And as I was finishing up my bachelor's degree, my wonderful mother decided to go back to school in her 40s to earn an associate degree in early childhood education. And so I'm very proud of my mom. She is a teacher assistant with Greene County Schools, So although I did not start at a community college, I feel like I have lived through a lot of that. And I've taken a lot of short-term training courses over the years. So anyway, after leaving teaching third grade, I had an opportunity to work in the basic skills program. I taught in that program for about 1.5 years, and then I directed the program for 5.5 years. And you know, I can say that I truly learned what the mission of the community college system by working in that program, because you get an opportunity to work with some of the most underserved students that have the most barriers towards their education. And I remember one student in particular who came to me, a single parent, that wanted to better their life for their child. And so I worked with that student for about 6 months, earned their GED. They walked across the stage at graduation, cheered them on. 2 years later, they walk across the stage again, earning an associate degree in office administration, and got a job in the field. Completely changed her life. And so I understand how important the community college is in the community, because it really can change the course of an individual's life. And I saw it time and time and time again working in that program. And so something else that was really important, we established a program for students with disabilities, a program that was a model across the state on providing those students with soft skills and employability skills to be able to contribute effectively in the communities that they live in. And so working closely with K-12 was also very important during that time. And so after 5.5 years, I had an opportunity to be Dean of Workforce Development and Continuing Education. And I served in that role just a little over 2 years, and was able to get much more deeply connected with business and industry, economic development. uh, learning how to map or create or bridge pathways between CCR, continuing education, as well as with curriculum, because it takes us all working together oftentimes to meet the needs of our students. I also had the opportunity to work with WIOA in writing the grant for youth, adult, and dislocated worker funding, the Title II grant with adult education, Dollar General Family Literacy Grant. And so I learned in that work and workforce development on how to write to get money, because it's important to have money to be able to do the things that you need to do for your students. And so I served in that capacity for a couple of years, and then I had an opportunity to come to James Sprunt Community College, which has been, and I'm sure Olivia will tell you, my home away from home for the last 4.5 years. And so I've been Vice President of Curriculum for that time, and I've really enjoyed my time here. I was telling students earlier this afternoon that there's a unique opportunity at a smaller institution, although we're growing and growing well, and very proud of that, that all of us wear a whole lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats at a small institution, and I feel very privileged to be working here and to have worked here, because it's allowed me to get involved and to get an understanding about a lot of areas to where at a larger institution that just wouldn't have happened. And so we've done great work here at James Sprunt Community College during my time here, and even before that as well. And I say we because it's never one as a leader. It's we. It's a collective effort with all of us. And so, you know, we've signed approximately 10 bilateral and articulation agreements with different universities. I've had the opportunity to collaborate and to work with faculty to write, you know, a National Science Foundation grant. We've been able to secure access to achievement funding, which has been a phenomenal program and opportunity here at the college. Perkins funding, which plays a pivotal role in our CTE programs, and other local dollars, and partnering with STEM East. But I'm exceptionally proud of our growth here, and it's taken all of us working together to make that happen. And I know I can confidently say that the people that I work with will tell you that I'm not afraid to get down and dirty and to do the work, because that's the only way that you learn what's working and what's not working. And so I believe it's a team effort. I believe it's a collaborative effort, and it's the reason why workforce development has had 101% growth the last 4.5 years in terms of FTE. It's the reason that CCR and basic skills has seen 116% growth in FTE in the last 4.5 years. It's the reason we've seen more than 16% growth in our curriculum programs over the last 4.5 years. It's the reason we've seen 56% increase in dual enrollment the last 4.5 years, or that we've seen an 86% increase in the number of graduates, or a 96% increase in terms of credential attainment for our students. And so I'm really proud of what we've done. I know the community college system well. I know James Sprunt Community College well. I know what our strengths are. I also know what our opportunities are. And I'm committed, if I have an opportunity to serve as your next president, to continue moving this college forward and to continue growing and achieving great things together. And so I'll close with that. All right. So is question time now? Yes, okay. All right. Yes.
What is your experience with SGA and Student Government Association, and what is your thoughts of a Student Government Association president serving on the Board of Trustees?
Okay, I do have quite a bit of experience working with, That was a loaded question. Could you repeat it one more time for me so that I can repeat it?
What is your personal experience with SGA?
Thank you.
And what is your thoughts of an SGA president serving on the board of trustees?
Okay, so what is my experience in working with SGA, and what are my thoughts on SGA student representation on our board? So I do have experience working with SGA. The previous institution I worked at, I was an advisor for our SGA club with basic skills. And so I served in a leadership role with that group. I know how important SGA leadership is in giving students opportunities to lead on their campus and to be involved in campus activities. And to have a voice on the campus, and we promoted that very much. And so I do know that it's important for students to have input on what goes on at this college, and SGA gives an opportunity for that input. The board prioritizes for there to be SGA representation, and so I know that as president you attend all our meetings, and even though it's a non-voting role, it still gives you an opportunity to have a voice and to share your experience as a student, which is very important because that's why we're here. And so is that important to me? Very much so. And so there are things that are outside of decisions that I can make, and so but it is very important to me, and I know that it's important to our board that there's student voice. So did that answer your question? Okay. All right. Next question. Yes, Alex.
You discussed student barriers earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you've done over the last 4.5 years that have really broken down student barriers here at JSCC? I've spent a lot of time in working with student services. I did it again. I'm so sorry. Third time will be the charm. So the question was, what are some things that I've done to help remove student barriers at James Sprunt? So I think that student services plays a critical and pivotal role in supporting student success. There is no academic world without the student services world. I mean, they coexist together, and so any ways that we can support students, whether that's offering flexible scheduling or utilizing technology to make learning more accessible for students, is important. I think we've accomplished that the last 4.5 years. We have great technology in our classrooms to where students can get a valuable learning experience from home just like they can from here. I think some things that we've worked alongside with student services has also been important. Food insecurity is a top issue here at the college. Transportation, giving students an avenue to be able to get to this campus is important. We offer counseling and mental health resources, staying well connected to your community, because we can't be the answer for all, but we should be able to point students in the direction and have a relationship with those community resources that it can be seamless for the student. So I do think we've done a really good job to help bridge that for the student. I was telling students earlier today too that, workforce development and continuing education, yes, that is their name, but we are all workforce development, that whether you are in CCR or in workforce development and continuing education or in curriculum, because our goal is that students get what they need here to either continue their learning or to go to work. And student services has done an excellent job in our part-time job fair, our full-time job fair, interview skills workshops, TRIO providing those ongoing soft skills workshops for students. I think has been very helpful. I think in order in my position
to remove student barriers, students have to know that you care, and that I have an open door policy, and if students need to talk to me, I let them come and talk to me. And so I think if students feel valued, supported, and I mean all students, that they'll feel welcomed and that they'll feel like this is a place that they belong to. And so, it's hard for some students to come back to school when they've been disconnected for many years. And so providing a welcoming environment where we can help students transition, I think is important. And I think our work alongside with Student Services has been real critical to creating that environment for our students. Okay. Next question. Yes, Karen, I promise to repeat your question after you state it. So go ahead.
What steps would you take in your first year in order to foster and continue to build trust with your faculty, staff, and your students?
Okay, so what steps would I take within my first year to continue to foster and build trust with faculty, staff, and students? In terms of faculty, I feel like that we collaborate all the time. We have strong professional development. I think going to talk to faculty is really important. I hope or I think that faculty feel that they can come and talk to me about anything, and that I'll listen. And there are sometimes lots of players that are involved in making decisions, but in terms of faculty, they're the ones that are the boots on the ground that are doing the hard work in the classroom. And so listening to them when they have concerns or even ideas and strategies to improve what we're doing is really important. And so I want to continue, even in a president role, to have that positive relationship with faculty. And it's no different with staff either. Staff have an equal responsibility and just as much of a connection with students as faculty do. One of the first things that I'd like to do is spend some time in areas that I may not supervise, and going to talk to all of the areas on this campus. I think that's really important in building trust and in building relationships with faculty and staff. With students, just being approachable and walking around and engaging with them and talking with them, finding out, are you having a good day? Is there anything I can do for you? Those things go a long way. And oftentimes there's not a lot that students need. They just need someone to know that they care, about them and that being here is important. And so I think what has worked for me well since I've been here is having an open door policy, not living within the confines of my four walls of my office, and going out and talking and engaging with people and building relationship, whether that's on or off campus. Mm-hmm. Next question. Yes?
As a first-generation college student, how do you plan to support TRIO's mission to serve underserved populations on our campus?
Thank you very much. As a first-generation college student, valuing TRIO and the services that they provide, how would I continue to promote those things on our campus? As a first-generation college student myself, I understand how difficult it can be to navigate the world of college for the first time. I love my parents, and if I didn't have my parents, I wouldn't be here today. And they sacrificed a whole heck of a lot so that I could have a good education. And I'll be forever grateful to them for that. But they didn't know how to help me navigate the college world. And so I think that TRIO plays a pivotal role in helping students get acclimated to our campus and providing things that are not just academic but non-academic to help them feel comfortable on our campus and to give them an arsenal of tools and skills that are not just within their discipline but those life skills that'll be important for them after they leave us. And so I do value TRIO. I do value the work that they do. And you know, that is an area that I would like to be more engaged in, to learn more about how I can continue to support their efforts even more on this campus, although they're doing a great job. Mm-hmm. Yes?
I'm going to piggyback off of her. So with the space and issue on campus, yet our community, engagement, student retention, and support service, a critical component of success, what do you see for TRIO's future here on campus?
So with, that was a great question. So with space and other factors on this campus, I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat that one more time.
Sorry,
I
okay.
totally lost it.
It's okay.
Say it one more time, please.
With space as an issue on campus,
Okay.
Community engagement, student retention, and support services a critical component on this campus.
Okay.
Where do you see TRIO's future?
Okay, with space and issue on this campus and all the services that TRIO provides in terms of student support, where do I see their future and how they can continue to make an impact on this campus? So I do think that that you know, we do have a new building that is being built right now that will allow some programs to move and allow us to rethink about other programs. I think space is always an issue on a community college campus because the more you grow, it can be challenging to continue to grow space. And so, you know, one thing that I would like to do is, even though we don't have a lot of space on this campus, we have a lot more space than you would think we would have. And so one thing that I think is important to do is to look at how each of our buildings are being utilized. Our space utilization, I think, is very important, because sometimes folks say that areas are not available, but they are. It's just that they may not be available at certain times. And so even though space is a top priority here, I still feel like we have underutilized areas on this campus. And so I think taking a holistic look at how each building is utilized can support all of our programs better and make sure that important programs like TRIO are still able to thrive and do the activities that they need to do to be able to support the total student. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then Christy.
How has your time as the vice president better prepared you for holding the position of president above the other candidates?
So how has my time as vice president here at James Sprunt Community College and in this role helped me to, what were your words again?
What makes you a better candidate than
Okay,
the other?
so my time here at the college, what makes me a better candidate because of my time here as vice president? Okay, thank you. I'm listening and trying to process at the same time. It's a little challenging. So first of all, I understand Duplin County and I understand this community. I've worked very hard to build relationships on this campus, but also outside of this campus. You know, K-12, for example, our Duplin County schools, they're our biggest partner. And so I've worked really hard to forge a positive relationship with them. I'm also a part of the Duplin County Partnership for Career Planning, which has business and industry, local government, college representation. It's been a great place to learn about what the needs are in Duplin County and what we're doing well and how we can all work together to provide more opportunity for our students. Another thing is being vice president. In my role, I get to touch a lot of different areas or to collaborate with almost all areas on this campus. And so I feel like I know people. I feel like I understand what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are as an institution. I feel like I understand the current vision for James Sprunt Community College, and that is continue to provide outstanding customer service and programs and services for our students and our community. I've been a part of the growth here. I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And I am committed to continuing to build on the foundation of those that are currently in the president role and the good work that we've done here. So I have a unique lens that the other candidates don't have because I've been here and I've done the work here at this college for the last 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. Christy.
Okay. What excites you most about leading a small community college like ours?
What excites me the most about being at a small community college like James Sprunt Community College? Coming from a larger institution to a smaller institution, it was a bit of a culture shock for me, to be honest with you, because no matter how hard I tried to learn folks at the college I was a part of previously, there were people I didn't think I'd ever seen before. Here it's very different. I feel like I know everyone here on a professional and a personal level. And so, you know, our slogan about being a family, I think is really true because, again, at a smaller college, you have to work daggone hard in whatever role you're in. And you wear a lot of hats. And it takes us all working together to help our students be successful. And so I think that adds a ton of value at a smaller institution, although we're growing a lot, and I'm proud of it. But I do feel like I know people here. I know what they do. I don't have to wonder what people do, or if a student calls me and needs something, I know exactly who they need to talk to because I understand what people's roles are here at the college. And I do also feel like that bleeds over into our students, that they feel supported and have all of those wraparound supports because we are a smaller institution. They know us and they know us well, and so there's a lot of added value to a smaller community college, and I feel blessed to be here, and I feel like I know people really well, and those authentic relationships build trust and help us to have a shared vision and be able to do great things for our students and our community that you don't find at a larger institution. You kind of almost lose identity at larger schools. We have a well-defined identity here, and that's definitely an asset here at a smaller rural school, and I enjoy that very much. Yes, Vanessa.
Stated that you're not afraid to roll up your sleeves and get dirty.
Yes.
So what steps are you going to take so that James Sprunt receives funding in different avenues? How are you going to do that?
When you say fund, okay, let me repeat that. So you said I wasn't afraid to get my hands dirty. In what ways am I going to ensure that the college has multiple avenues of funding to be able to support the work that we do? So I think understanding programs first is really important. I've worked in all the academic areas and I've supervised in all academic areas. So I do understand how CCR can work with workforce development and how they can work with curriculum. I think that's crucial, understanding your programs. I think understanding your community is important and having a pulse on what's needed in the community, which is why your community engagement is so important. There are lots of opportunities, Perkins funding, Title I, Title II grants that we've received, access to achievement. There are lots of dollars locally or offered through the community college system that you can access through grants that can enhance and support your programs. But that's not enough. That's a great start, but it's not enough. I've been able, and working alongside with others over the course of my career to bring in a lot of money to the college. But in areas I have less experience in, I know how to get money, and that's by asking for it, and that's by working with your local representatives. That's by meeting with your county and having a shared vision on what the needs are for the community. Because you might be mighty as one, but you're much more mighty as a group and a collective group. And so I'm not afraid to ask for it, but I want, when I ask for it to be a conscious and strategic decision and well thought out decision that's going to make an impact here on our community. And so you got to have the numbers, you got to have the data, and you've got to have a plan and a vision for where you want the institution to go. I think that's crucial. I think that's really important. The other thing is I give to the foundation here. It's very important to me. And I am a part of all of the events that we do. That's important to me. It is important that we support our foundation. It's important that the community supports our foundation. And lastly, I think that every one of us in here, and no less so for the president, are a walking billboard at all times. Wherever you go, you need to take an opportunity to talk about how good James Sprunt Community College is and what impact it's making in the community. And so we cannot be afraid to share our story and tell our story because it makes an impact. And it's those success stories that, that causes people's hearts to be moved to want to be a part of what we're doing. And so, yeah, there's lots of ways, but those are some things that I would say are definitely priorities to make sure that we have funding to support our students all the way around. So, yes, Ms. Brenda.
What has been your involvement with our GEARS program, and how do you see it evolve over the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Okay, so what has been my involvement with the GEARS program, and how do I see it evolving over the next 5 to 10 years? Miss Brenda and I and several others in the community met monthly for about a year and a half to strategize and talk about a unique program for students with disabilities. There is not a lot of resources in Duplin County to support students with disabilities, although they play a critical role in our communities and have an opportunity to do a lot for their community. And so I have been directly involved in starting the program here at James Sprunt Community College. And I worked hard to help secure funding for Access to Achievement, which was initially an initiative that worked alongside GEARS, still does in a different capacity, but helped us with renovating space and preparing for the program. I think that we should, as a community college, be able to be an answer to all students. And so the vision that I had for this program, and working with CCR, who has also done an incredible amount of work to support, and this program, it's in their division area, is to create a program where students are getting academic skills in the context of employment, while also at the same time learning soft skills that can that can launch them into internship opportunities locally here on campus, but also off campus to give them skills that can help them be employable in their community. And you know, for some students, it's not just about employability, it's them feeling that they're an active contributor to their communities, whether that's through volunteering or other areas. And something else that's really important to me too is that these students gain independent life skills so that they can be more independent and can take care of themselves and their needs. And so that was my vision for this program. I think in working with the community and in working with CCR, we got a daggone good, successful program. And where I see it, I would love to see it continue to grow over the next 5 to 10 years. You know, we're not the stopping place or the end for students in the program. I want us over the next 5 to 10 years to engage more with our community so that these students have more opportunity off of the campus time to gain those employability skills and those soft skills, and also working with other agencies locally and regionally that can provide even more of a transition plan for students to go further. And so I'm really proud of the work here. My heart lives in CCR. It's where I started. It's what I'm passionate about, and I think that the GEARS program, giving everyone a role in society, is really filling a void on this, in this county, and providing an opportunity for these students to feel a part and to learn and grow. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes, yes, sir.
First of all, I want to thank you all for your work with STEM East, and you and Dr. Caraway and Ms. Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, and Sutton in helping us with STEM East. STEM East, the work they do is to make students aware of the job opportunities in the local community. So our students don't leave us and move to larger cities for employment.
Mm-hmm.
Understand it's here. And as a former high school principal, I knew that about 60% of our graduates were going to community college. So what do you believe to be the next steps we need to take? And as you said before, it will have to be a joint effort in order to improve that, to increase the awareness of the local job opportunities, and then capture those students and keep them in our communities.
STEM East has definitely been a blessing to us, and Liz could speak on this just as much as I can, but it has really given us some grant dollars to be able to support CTE in a great way. And one of the things that it's allowed for us to do locally is to work together even more with our K-12 partners to get students that are interested in the trades on our campus and to know what we do and what the opportunities are excuse me, for our students. Because I do believe that sometimes students leave our communities from a total lack of awareness on how they can be engaged and join the workforce here locally. There are a ton of opportunities here locally, and I think if students choose James Sprunt Community College to gain training and education, that they are more apt to learn about what their community offers for them. And so STEM East has also allowed us to connect more with business and industry. Something that I would, business and industry partners are busy. They have a lot going on, and I still, even though we're very engaged with our business and industry partners, I would love to continue to see internship opportunities with our local workforce be prioritized, because we can tell students about the workforce and what's available all day long, but until they go out and actually do the work and engage with the employer and are working alongside of them and doing the work, they're not going to get it. And so, and that's something that I think is really crucial, that sometimes gets lost in translation with business and industry sometimes too. Yes, it's an investment on the front end, but partnering and working with us can really help to build a pipeline for employers for their businesses. And so, STEM East is doing great work, and we are blessed to be a part of it. But if there's any additional funding and creative ways that we can engage business and industry to an even higher degree to offer those authentic opportunities to students, I think would take it up, take it to the next level. I do. Yes, sir.
What will you do to ensure that James Sprunt maintains its accreditation with being able to receive veterans benefits?
So, accreditation impacts. I'm sorry. What will I do to ensure that accreditation maintains availability for VA funds here at the college? So, thank you. So accreditation plays a pivotal role in most everything that goes on at the college. And, you know, if programs aren't accredited, then they're not going to receive Pell. If schools aren't accredited, they're not going to receive financial aid or Pell. And so if those, and VA is tied up into all of that. And so if accreditation is not maintained, then we do not have an opportunity for students to access dollars and funds to be able to come to this college. And so, you know, sometimes people that are not doing the work, it's hard for them to see how important accreditation is, but it really is one of the most important things that we have to make sure that we stay in compliance with, because it gives us an opportunity to access those VA funds and financial aid funds to be able to support students. So that takes certifying programs and making sure that they're compliant to be supported by VA. Financial aid takes care of a lot of that work and what they're doing, but if we're not accredited, then there's no purpose for financial aid. And so we have to work together to make sure that that we're compliant with what we're doing so that we don't lose opportunities for that funding. And accreditation is very important to me. And I will tell you, I want to be careful with how I say this. You know, being an instructor and being a program director, sometimes I didn't see how important accreditation was. But at the end of the day, if you don't have it, you don't have a whole lot. And so I have learned how important it is, and I hope that I've been able to engage faculty and staff to come alongside and help with those efforts and to understand how important it is as well. So, good question. Yes?
All right. What would you say is your dominant leadership style?
Okay.
And what is your strength with that leadership?
Okay, what is my dominant leadership style and what is my strength? Okay. I had a very similar question that students asked me earlier this afternoon. I take a multi-pronged approach. I would say that I'm definitely a collaborative leader. The voice of those that are impacted by decisions matter to me a whole lot, and that's faculty, staff, and students. And again, you know, for a leader to think that they have all the answers, I think is one of the most dangerous things a leader can believe, because they don't. And it takes us all working together and sharing knowledge and understanding from areas that you're an expert in for us to be able to make decisions sometimes. And so I value input. I listen, and I do my own research too, but I value the input that everyone else brings to the table so that we can make the best decision possible for our students. I will also say that sometimes leaders have to be decisive. And so sometimes leaders have to make unpopular decisions. And, you know, and I've had to do that sometimes. But I do believe that if people trust you and they trust your vision and that they have felt heard in the process, that goes a heck of a long way. But at the end of the day, when I have had to make those unpopular decisions, it's because I'm trying to look at the institution as a whole. And, you know, not just think about how it may impact one area, but what is the decision that will be the best decision for the college as a whole? And most importantly, what's the decision that's going to be the best decision for our students? And so I would say collaborative, but also decisive leadership, because sometimes, daggone, you got to make the hard decisions. And you got to go with your gut sometimes. But listening to others and getting all the sides of the information is crucial in working together to make the right choice. You're welcome. Other questions? Yes?
How will you continue working with the Latino community in the county? And how will you continue supporting the Latino classes that we already have here? What would you do to increase? What would you do to bring more to the college?
Uh-huh.
And, you know, how would you integrate all that into the community and to the college?
Okay, so how would I support the Latino population here at the college and within the county? How would I support the Latino Center here as well? And how would I make sure that those services are integrated to support students? Our Latino population is important. We do live in Duplin County. Close to 30%, 28 or so percent of our demographic here at James Sprunt are Latino population. And so one of the things that's important is folks working together. And so I think the CCR group, our English language acquisition program that helps students where English is not their first language to learn that language and to learn citizenship and all those important things. I think it's really important for those two areas to be closely aligned in marketing and recruiting and being a united front and offering services to that population. And, you know, Sherry's program and CCR can help with this in this way. Your program and providing resources for students is different, but can also better support the student while they're in Sherry's program, but transitioning into a program here at the college to earn a credential or what have you, whatever it is. You know, there is a lot going on in the world today for sure, but I do think that we have to create an environment where everyone feels safe and welcome. And everyone, our Latino population, but all of the students that we serve here. And so, you know, the Latino Center does a lot more than just provide information to students about classes here. They provide community resources and services for citizenship and other things, connecting them with the community, also with short-term training programs here. So yeah, it does hold value here in working with that group, and I think it's important to advocate for all of our students, including our Latino population. So yes, it's very important to me, and I think that any way that we can all work together to provide those services to students is very important. And we have a robust offering of Spanish courses here at the college that is thriving and doing well because we're being responsive to the community that we're serving. Mm-hmm. Hey, Philip.
So, looking at our growth and looking at our continued vision as we move forward, are there any additional programs or opportunities that you have a vision and would like to see us grow to include to further strengthen the institution?
Okay, so just to continue the growth here at the college, do I have any ideas or thoughts about new programs and new initiatives here? So I do have a couple, and I've talked to faculty about some of those. Our elementary residency licensure certificate started off small last year, but it is growing rapidly here at the college. And that program helps K-6 educators, primarily in Duplin County, but we can serve other counties that are not considered highly qualified, or that enter to come to teach at that level with a bachelor's degree that's not in education to become highly qualified. And so they take 6 courses with us, and they're prepared at the time they complete to hopefully complete their EdTPA requirements as well as pass the praxis. I would like to expand that to special education and BK. Those are new licensure areas that I think could really make an impact in Duplin County and support our school system and other child care providers very well. But along that train of thought, I think that as we consider adding programs, we have to make sure that the programs we currently offer are still meeting the need for the community. You know, we've ended some programs, it is sad, and nobody wants to see programs end, but sometimes they just ran their course. And sometimes when you end programs, it gives opportunity, room, space, and availability and resources to start new programs. Something that, you know, as far as the trades area, for example, we've talked a lot about construction-related programs. We're providing a lot of feeder programs that would work really nicely with a construction-related program, and so those are things that would definitely be a consideration for the future. I would also like to expand our health education opportunities here at James Sprunt. Phaedra and I have had conversations about programs too, but you know, the education arena, construction trades area, and the health area are three important areas for me. Going back to the workforce development side, it depends on how regulated this area becomes in the future with Workforce Pell and other initiatives. But you know, one thing that is really awesome about workforce development is that they can do things a whole lot quicker than we can on the curriculum side. They can really be responsive immediately, almost immediately responsible to the needs of their community. And so you know, I think they have done an incredible job in growing workforce development, but there are other opportunities to grow even more. And I think we also have to think about getting beyond the sphere of this campus and West Park. We're doing great things here at James Sprunt. We're doing great things at West Park, but this is a huge county. And there are populations and groups of students that we're barely skimming the surface on. And so I want to see us be out more in the community, in some of our peripheral areas, on the perimeters of the county, and offer programming in those areas. And lastly, we have successfully, Morgan has been a big help with this too, but for the past, 2 years now, we've been able to bring courses back to our local high schools, and I would like to offer more in the trades area at our high schools. Space is always an issue, and it's an issue here, and it's an issue with Duplin County Schools, but I do feel like we can work together and do more on our high school campuses that'll help provide opportunities to students that are more accessible at their campuses, and putting our resources together, I think, can help provide programming to students that we otherwise, you know, can't have otherwise. And so, yeah, I know that was a lot, but just thinking about, just to recap, you know, our education, trades, health area, continue to build on workforce development opportunities because of them being so nimble and flexible and responsive, and getting and trying to strategically think through ways that we can offer more on our high school campuses are some things that would be priorities to me. Mm-hmm.
In an effort to stay on time, we have time for one more question. But before we get there, I do want to tell you that I wanted to thank y'all for attending on behalf of our chair. She has not been able to attend all these sessions, but she has attended all of them virtually and has played an important role in working with us and guiding the Board of Trustees. But you've got one more question.
Okay. Taylor, I saw your hand up, so I'll take your question.
If you are given the presidency, what would be your number one priority or the number one thing that you want to do when you get in?
So what would be, if I have an opportunity to be president, what would be the first or top priority that I would have coming into the role? I have a lot of things that I want to do, but I think the first step, and I alluded to this earlier, I want to build relationships with areas that I don't work as often with or as closely with. And I really want to focus on building community relationships. You know, what I do now in some ways would be very similar to what I would do as president, but would also be different in some ways too. And so just expanding your reach of engagement here locally, out in the community, regionally, statewide, just building relationships would be top and foremost for me as a new president. And again, you know, I think one thing that I can say, because I've worked here, I think you have to be very strategic with changes that you make, because one change in a positive direction can be negative in two ways in another direction. And so I think I know all the factors that have to play into decisions that we have to make sometimes here at the college. And so I would be very cautious in making a quick change without understanding all of the factors and everything that's involved. Am I a change agent? Y'all know that I am because in working with me, you know that I'm not afraid of change, but just making sure that I have a good understanding of the impacts that changes make, I think will be critical to continue helping us to build on the awesome growth that we've experienced the last several years. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.